myself lost in unknown ways to be found, getting into your mind, lost in. You have 11 kids.
My wife and I have a blended family of 11 kids. The youngest is our COO, which I'm Talk TV. 11 kids, 19 grandkids, and a 1.5-year-old great grandson, which is hard for my mouth to even form the words to say. Yeah. And I'm only 32.
What?
Wait, what? No, that's not right.
Wait, what?
I'm in my 60s. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have 11 kids, 32. The oldest will be 50 in September. Insane.
Bro.
This is why you got to do what you love. Keeps you young.
Oh my God. I mean, like, this is what's the family from The Sound of Music? The Van Braun, or I don't remember.
Yeah.
Von Tramp. The Von Tramp.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's just like traveling in my mind. I'm like, that's a big family right there. You know,
It
like
is.
that's a lot of responsibility.
And I grew up with one sibling. So it's a huge shift. Huge shift.
You did like it's not even it's like a 180.
I got
you know?
active. I worked out.
Oh my God. Well,
Does that work? Does this work? Sound okay?
no, it sounds fantastic. I don't know what
Okay,
the hell
great.
we did. We're
Okay,
golden.
nobody move. No, don't move. Don't move.
Nobody move.
Don't.
Dogs, beware, okay?
That's
You
right.
move any of this shit, like we're in trouble.
Schnoodles, don't move. Okay. The youngest one lays at my feet, 70 pounds of a 50% pit bull, 50% border collie, and she's the most affectionate dog I've ever seen. She's laying across my feet like, you're
That
not getting
is
up. This podcast is over.
that is such an interesting combo.
Yeah.
Like, like I know what pit bulls look like. I know what border collies look like, and you put those things together and you're like,
Her
wait,
body
what?
is like a pit bull, but her head is
It's like
still
a
this,
border collie.
like a small puppy border collie, though. It's a small head, big, deep well eyes, and this big body that, And oh, by the way, I got to ask Dave. This
Yes.
is, I've watched I've listened to some episodes. There's no video being used. If there is, I'll put on a shirt.
No, you're fine. Like we do video, but you're totally fine. Like I love
Okay,
the
'cause
background and I love the ambiance. This is freaking
I was
fantastic.
outside grilling and gardening and all this stuff since 5 a.m. So I'm like, I might have to change. But I didn't see any video in
Nah,
your. But maybe sometimes
nah.
people use them for promos. But I'll just hang. I'll do what you do and try to keep up.
Yeah, I like, like there's no dress code, like I get it. Like some
Oh well, then
businesses and
let's just
places.
take this. Oh, I'm kidding.
I'm already far down YouTube's like no list. It's like, let's keep going. It's like we got weed in here. We talk about drugs. We talk about sex.
Oh,
Like,
I'm on
shit.
board. Hey, I got
Yeah.
11 kids. Let's rock.
I've literally had a porn filmmaker on this podcast.
I listened to that. I listened to it. Former newscaster.
Oh my God, that
I
man was a
listened.
freaking legend.
Cat Pepper. What kind of name? When I saw Cat Pepper, I thought, okay, or Pepper Cat. I
Pepper
thought,
Cat.
okay, yeah, something's up here. I want to listen to this. And I was like, oh, okay, I can take my tie off for this one.
But you know what? I feel like it's important because as adults, okay, I feel that we have needs. I feel like everybody has needs. Like even if, for example, you're in a relationship with somebody, people have fetishes, people have kinks.
Yeah.
And one thing I know, especially like like talking with artists and getting to know people, like I know you're out in Arizona, but places like Las Vegas, one of the things that's incredible about that place
That's
is
where we moved here from, believe it or not.
really.
We live in a tiny city. It's only a city because it's incorporated, but not what you think of when you hear the word city. We moved here from Las Vegas. There's 7,500 people here. We're a mixed race couple. We were at at the time the only second Jewish couple here, and we were like, we don't know, but let's do it because we wanted to get away from the kids. I mean, get away from the big city life. Because I'm from LA. My wife, here she is. My better my better 7/10 is from the Bronx, and we lived in Las Vegas for years and years, and we just wanted like a fuck off, get out of the city, and we found this little town on a trip. And man, when we moved here, total shift in our headspace. Total, we were productive, but just moving here, 4,000 feet in elevation, nature, small town. You can't give your finger though to someone at a red light because
You.
you'll see them at the market in 5 minutes. But, and it might be the mayor, but it's been great. So
We
yeah, tell us
gotta
about
be
Las Vegas. We
played.
go there all the time. We got 7 of our 11 kids live there.
I listen, man. Like I totally understand that. Like I grew up in New York. I grew up like the
What
quote
part?
unquote Rockland County, which is like
Okay.
90 minutes outside of the city. It's like they call it upstate. It's not really upstate anymore. It's
Right.
kind of
It's
just
three
like,
degrees north, right?
yeah, yeah.
20-minute ride.
But the thing is, like, growing up in higher elevation, growing up around mountains and, just surrounded by nature and
Yeah.
fields and all of that, like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of forget as Americans that kind of the thing that brought immigrants and the melting pot to this country is the fact that we designed mixed communities.
Yeah.
That's that's where I feel like segregation really fucked up the system because it now allows politicians to really do segregation in full. We never lost segregation. Segregation is in full swing in this country. It's been like this for years,
For hundreds of years
hundreds of years,
before
since
we were a country. Yeah.
be, way before. I mean, look at what they did to the like. Look, like the natives and the stuff. But like, truth be told, it's been a part of the history of this country since the Europeans met the natives here on this land. It's just
Yeah.
it's a
It's
never-ending pit fire.
we
I
live 20 minutes from the Apache Native Reservation, San Carlos. We're 20 minutes from there. And they're here, they're present, they work at the mines. Mining is the big thing here. And yeah, it's my grandparents all came here during the Bolshevik Revolution, from Russia, Ukraine, and it's it hasn't changed since, like I said, before we were even formally a country. Before that, world famous John Hancock. Can I get your John Hancock? No, but you can get my Dan Shinder. It's like I'm not that guy. I can't live up to that shit. But yeah,
Mm,
it's really, in a
Booth.
way, we've evolved so much, and in another way, we've gone backwards, right?
And it's so interesting because I come from a mixed background. My dad came to this country in 1970 from Morocco. My mom is third generation from Western European immigrants that came here in the 1800s.
Oh wow.
So like I understand that more than anything, right? Where this is what it is to be a part of America. It's not indoctrination, it's not
Right.
politics, it's not an agenda. It's just we're a melting pot. We're all sorts of immigrants. You get Irish, you get Italians, you get
And we're not
Filipinos,
unique that way. There's
Chinese.
other countries that do this and that
Yeah,
always
we're not
have.
unique.
Yeah.
Like look at like Australia. Like Australia is like one of the greatest examples of
Oh,
this.
yeah. I lived there for 2 years and it was amazing. I loved it there. When we first went there, if I may, we went for a 2-week project. I stayed for 2 years. I kept getting more work. I had a video production company, worked a lot with the charter yacht industry after the initial project my wife and I went there for. And after 3 months, she said, I got to get back home. She's an artist and a therapist and blends those two together. And she said, I've got art showings. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna hang and just keep sending money home. Well, that was cool with her. She said, yeah, you stay. And the culture there is so much more not only laid back, Dave, but so uncommercialized. During Halloween, no one dresses up at work. There's no decorations in the storefront. At Christmas time, there were, I'm going to say, less than a dozen homes with, it's just a different mindset where it's not and live over the top and living there and watching Ellen DeGeneres because where I lived with a couple friends of mine, a husband and wife, I was at home a lot with the wife working in the room they gave me, but I'd take lunch break with her. She'd watch Ellen, and I'd be like, "Wow, this is so different from everything else on your networks." She's like, "I know, that's why I watch it." And I'm like, I'm ashamed to be American." Yeah, it's just so different, and we need to get out and see that more. To have context of what's going on where you are. There's no context unless you get out and see what else is going everywhere else, whether it's Canada, Mexico, part of Europe, Japan, Asia, South Africa, whatever. There's no context if you don't get out of your fishbowl.
Yeah, and I think the prime example, like I know you mentioned Australia, like I remember I have a friend of mine that lives in Manchester in the UK, and I've been to London and I've been to Manchester. So you got like the north and you got the south. And I found in my own personal experience, it is so classist. I've said this so much about the UK. It is. It's like you go to cities and it does. It feels like an Oliver Twist story. It's just bricks and factories and everybody's dressed, like as if they're.
The industrial age, yeah.
Yes. So, but the people are so warm and they're fun and they like doing drugs and they like drinking and they like smoking and they're like so
What
unpolished.
what's like the drug of the week there?
It's weird. They do like a lot of like pills. I don't know, like they do weird. I don't know, like psychedelics and weed is just not a thing in the UK. Like some people smoke weed, but it's just not. They like
So are they
popping
doing like
things.
ecstasy
And
or
stuff like that. Yeah, it's like more
wow.
common there, especially like in the London scene. But
I've never
like,
done ecstasy. I've heard it described to me, but I've never had that. But like weed here in America is like it's like I don't know. It's not even a drug. I mean, if you can call
it's not a
alcohol a
drug.
drug, it's a drug.
It is a
But
drug.
other than that, it's not a drug. It's like it alters your state a bit,
It's
but
a
it's not.
plant
Yeah, if you go to a bar and a bunch of guys drink too much alcohol, a fight breaks out. If you go to a house where there's music playing and a lava lamp and guys smoke too much weed, a nap breaks out. Like that's the different, right?
or a munchie break.
Yeah,
Munchie break.
nachos.
Nachos with Mountain Dew. Oh my god, an overpriced Taco Bell. Yes.
But it's interesting to, like you're saying, Dave, to look at the countries in different. Here we go with the word context again of what qualifies as an altered state and qualifies as a drug, legal versus controlled, and it's different everywhere. I just read that Thailand yesterday. I read that Thailand, uh, not long ago, they legalized marijuana to a degree, and recently they took it all back. Like they took it all back. So, and you used to be able to, that's not the right wording. You used to receive the death sentence in Thailand and Singapore if you did weed, marijuana. So when we look at the different continents and the different countries and counties and cities, like John Anderson says, counties and countries, it's is different everywhere. So what is the rule? And I think the rule is without all of that, it starts with inside of us and just be the best you can and give back. And if you need an altered state, know what's within the boundaries and guidelines of where you are so you don't get caught up in all the legal stuff. If you want to do a shot of vodka, do a shot of vodka. If you need to take a hit off a pipe, do a hit off a pipe. If you need to drink some dirty bong water, drink some, whatever it
Don't
is. But
recommend. I don't recommend it. It's
right,
really
not
gross.
recommend, especially if the bong
No.
water had burnt stems. Well, that's another story. But
It tastes
you know,
like burnt rubber. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you how I know that.
no way.
All I
It
know is
tastes
it
like
tastes.
burnt rubber smells.
Yes,
I've heard. I
exactly.
read this.
No,
I don't
exactly.
know.
No,
Yeah,
no, it
I'm
really
just a
does.
drummer. How do I know?
Oh, it's disgusting, bro. I literally was like puking at the throat. But the 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 crazy part is, right, is we as a country have always been progressive, okay? cut the crap with the conservative and the liberal bullshit because I don't believe in any of that crap. We've always been
Right.
a progressive country mixing those ideas together and figuring out different
100%. If you look
solutions.
at our forefathers, they were progressive, or
They
we
were
would not
progressive.
be the melting pot we are.
No.
But that was not a term then, and it's not referred to them in the present as what they were now. But you're right, that's exactly how this country started and became a melting pot and a welcoming, by being progressive.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And
we'd be the Soviet Union again or the USSR or whatever.
it's the same thing.
Socialistic, right?
We've the sad part is that we've moved so far away from that, and I feel like that's why now that people have to realize with the internet and technology, this there's an independence movement here in this country. We're indie underground podcasting has all started to rise and started to become
Oh, yeah.
even more consumed than what people are watching, like mainstream media and mainstream production and things. I think it's because people in this country are tired. People do remember what happened to Detroit. People do
Yeah.
remember what happened to New York during the AIDS pandemic. People do remember,
Oh, yeah.
recently the Hawaii fires and the LA fires and
Oh,
all of this crap.
oh, I was there. Yeah.
So we're now aware. We see the truth. We see the lies and the bullshit and the crap that's being shoved into our faces.
Yeah.
So now it becomes a yearning and longing for people that just want something real, something
So
that
I have a question for you. How much of that do you think, Dave, is generational versus, because I think we might be 20, 25 years apart in age, I'm guessing. How much of
think
that
so.
do you think is generational versus people just kind of waking up? And I don't mean woke, I don't want to get into that, but waking up and kind of seeing
Awake.
more
Yeah.
and looking more into, like you're saying, the off standard media, like Redacted. If I can give a shout out, Redacted is one of my wife's favorite news programs
You're
that
killing it
all
with the vocabulary today. I'm
so
just saying.
yeah.
It's
I think that we're so trained to watch the network and CNN and Fox, but there's so much other stuff out there. And my parents taught me when I was in my young teens, you've got to look everywhere and you've got to be influenced by everything. Otherwise you're stuck in that lane, and you don't know anything else, and that's dangerous. It's dangerous for you, it's dangerous for the people you're purporting, your information to, because they may know a lot more than you do, because they're two simple words: looking around. And we need to have a wide vision, look beyond the horizon, like Alan White of Yes used to say in a musical context. But you can't just you can't just take what's fed to you. You got to investigate, you got to look around, you got to be awake, not woke necessarily. You can be,
no,
that's
it's
fine. I don't
awake.
want to get in,
No,
but you
it's
need to just
awake.
have your
Yeah.
radar open, is what I mean by that, right?
I think it's also like touching on generational trauma, right? I'm not trying to point a finger, but something that we have seen, which is a pattern, specifically people that fall under the baby boomer
And that goes
generation,
back to Native Americans too. Generational trauma that gets
generational
into the
trauma.
genes. It's genealogy that gets affected by that.
And you know what? With I've spoken to Native American chiefs and I've tried getting them to be able to have an open conversation. A lot of them are just terrified. They're terrified of
Yeah.
talking to people and having conversations because of how the media tries to fluff, like put lipstick on a pig kind of shit. And when you talk to these people, like I learned about like the Chemehuevi tribe that lives out in
Yeah.
California and how they're a completely different type of Native American. I have a friend of mine that keeps telling me, oh, Native Americans didn't have anything to do with shellfish. I'm like, yes, they did. No, they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Oh, wait,
Chemehuevi
can I
tribe is a
chime in on
great
that?
example of this.
Can I chime in on that?
Yes.
So again, I live in the mountains, 100 miles east of Phoenix, 4,000 feet. There's a mile from my doorstep. There is an archaeological site that has a museum, and it was the Salado Indians that lived there. There's the ruins of a village, there's a museum, and in the museum, you can see the copper, all these minerals that they traded, and they traded with the Chumash Indians. I lived in Los Angeles. I grew up there. I lived in Ventura, California, off the, the mainland, off where the Channel Islands were off the coast. I lived there for 14 years. The Chumash Indians were natives there. The
Hmm.
Chumash Indians came all the way here. It's an hour from Phoenix, let alone 8 hours from where I grew up by car. They came all the way here, and there's seashells here that they traded because no one here saw seashells. What the F word is that? So you can't just pigeonhole. I don't mean you, Dave, but people cannot pigeonhole and say that this didn't happen, that didn't happen because of geographic. People pilgrimaged just to trade stuff, to get jewels, gems, turquoise, amethyst, different minerals, copper that are up here,
E- even even
chrysocolla,
even
you know?
fabrics. I one
Yeah,
thing that
yeah, absolutely.
one of the biggest misconceptions, which I was very thankfully having these people on and having this conversation, is everybody thinks the Native American wore animal hides. That is a false native, in the sense where there were many Native American tribes that we know of this, that they
They
made
wore
their own
human hides.
fabrics. You,
Oh, no, just kidding, sorry.
Is-
Sorry, sorry.
oh my god! Listen, there were some
No, you're
cannibal
right,
Native
though.
American
There
tribes,
were
but yet they
there
made their
were
own
fabrics that
fabrics.
they wove, they
Yes,
dyed with natural
yes,
resources like the berries
yes,
and different things like that. Yeah,
yeah.
and
They
it's
made
in the
real
museum
clothing.
here. It's funny, I'm pointing over there because it's 1.5 miles away from my office. You
Yeah, we
need
need a
to
little
get
tour.
out, you need to learn, you need to research and not just take what's jammed down your throat from network news. There's value in network news because that's a context, but you need to listen to like Redacted and bless his heart, Art Bell. I miss Art Bell so much. Art Bell and people like that for different perspectives. And my parents, again, going back to when I was 11, 12, 13, my parents said, no matter what we influence you on for your political views, listen to what everyone else is saying. Like Kennedy, I hate to get political. I don't get political. You've really
No, it's
opened
fine.
the clamshell
It's
here because,
okay. You'll be
you
surprised
know,
how many people talk politics on this podcast. Yeah,
okay, I don't like to get into that because people are so judgmental, but I'll say this. What John F. Kennedy was as a Democrat would be a Republican today.
yeah.
He was so influential, Dave, that when I was about, oh my gosh, 40-ish, I asked my dad, we were watching something on TV, I don't know. I said, Dad, everyone had a hat in the late 50s and early 60s. And then John F. Kennedy became president. And I said, Dad, what happened to the hats? He said, You don't know what happened to the hats? I'm like, No. He said, JFK became president with a beautiful head of hair. He resonated with everyone. He didn't wear a hat. So men, they wanted to fit in. They ditched the fucking hat. And that's where the hat went. And that speaks if on a microcosm scale to be a leader like Abe Lincoln, like Martin Luther King, JFK, pick your favorite rock star. It's that type of influence that all of us have the ability to have on people if we can put the equation together to reach the sum. So let me think, if I can get people to stop wearing hats, what else might I get them to believe in championing? Think about that for a moment, right?
No, it's true. I mean, greatest example, one of my favorite artists, it has to be like David Bowie. You could
I'm not
go back.
familiar. What has he done?
So
No, I'm
David
kidding.
Bowie, come on, he had decade after decade. He went through like phase after phase, and one of his most famous interviews, which was back in the '70s, he came on, and they were like picking at him because he had high platform shoes on. They're picking him like, "What are those?" And then he just looked at them and started laughing. He's like, "They're shoes, silly." You
Oh
know,
my gosh. Every album was a different face with that man. He was the
every
most
album.
adventurous artist ever because first you had the athletic David Bowie, eventually you had the glitter David Bowie, the Spiders from Mars David Bowie, the glitter on the
Americana,
eyelid.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the "Let's dance," the down to earth,
Put
just
on
blue
your red
collar
shoes and
and
dance the
dance the
blues.
blues. I mean, how many David Bowies were there? Well, when it comes down to it, just one. Was
Just
he a
one.
shapeshifter, a persona? Maybe,
I mean, he
but
did
it was
live
the
on
same
cocaine, milk, and peppers throughout the 70s, so I wouldn't put it past him.
and that's, I think, how we need to look at people and society. Nothing's ever the same all the time. It always changes, but it comes down to the root. If you look at David Bowie as an example of that, right? It's like, wait, every album's different, every persona is different, every stage is different, every wardrobe and persona he puts on but it's still David Bowie.
I
Isn't that
know.
America? Isn't that Western Europe? Isn't that Asia? Isn't that
He represented everybody. Like
yeah?
he was a cultural man. He loved the arts from all places. And that's a rare thing with artists because a lot of the times people get comfortable, they don't want to explore, but he did. He spent most of his
Oh
career
yeah,
exploring, just meeting everybody, any kind of art, India, South Africa, Australia. He didn't care anywhere.
yeah.
That's amazing. And like you said, like you only get one of those once in a lifetime. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a rock star superstar like David Bowie to
Right.
emulate something like that. All it means is that like if he could do it, you could do it in your own way. I don't mean being famous, all right? I mean it in your own way, your own
Yeah.
true self.
And when you do that and you influence people in your own true self, that's the epitome of really being authentic, I think. Because whether or not people agree with you or not, it's the people that agree with you that confirm your authenticity, as well as the people that don't agree with you. And that's okay. Hey, I could tell you 11 kids, 19 grandkids, wonderful wife, and a 1.5-year-old great grandson. You cannot please everybody with the same thing, and we should never try. Can you imagine those 42 F words going on a picnic together and me saying, hey, we're taking chicken? There'd be half of them that would revolt and say, but I don't want chicken. I want burgers. And I want hot dogs. And I want vegetables. And I want to go vegan. And I want this stir fry. And I want, okay, we're not doing a picnic. We're doing a virtual on Zoom family meet and greet.
Everybody eat whatever you have at home. Like there's no you bring your own food. Uh,
Exactly. You cannot please everybody with the same time. With the same thing. It's never happened at any time ever. And that should never be a goal. You should just be authentic to what you believe will help other people and be your best advocate for that and bring some others along. And you get what you get out of that, whatever it is.
I know. It's just it's sad when you look at the flip side of it where you live in a time where obviously we do have a severe mental health crisis in this country. Like that's not it's not made up. It's a real thing. And there's a lot of factors.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that also, as somebody that like I'm gay and I'm kind of a part of my own version of my libertarian gay community. But that's another story for another time. And it's heartbreaking because I come from New York and I experienced being around people that were around my age during the 80s and what they experienced. And now we fast forward here to the future where not a lot of gay men are getting married or building families. It's very, very small. It's a very tiny number. Very, very few people are trying to be able to integrate within communities like yourself. Like you live in a small neighborhood. So what, you're gay? Who cares? It's like maybe
And
you could grow.
there's a pretty, if I could just say, there's a pretty, what's the word? There's a large gay community here in this area of 7,500 people. And I think to your point, gay women are having are creating more families than gay men.
They are.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of understanding where having kids is not for everybody. That's not what I'm emphasizing over here. What I'm
I have
emphasizing is
11 kids and I can tell you it's not for me. I've tested
it's
it.
you've been there, done that. Uh, but I think it's important to be able to have relationships in your life. Like I could not say this anymore. Like whether it be best friends or colleagues or a romantic relationship. Like they're really
Mentors, everything, the whole
everything.
360.
You
Yeah,
need people in your life. Like the whole thing about being an artist and being successful for yourself is being able to collaborate, is to open your mind
keyword.
and yeah, collaborate.
100%. You got to collaborate in life. You got to collaborate in art. You got to collaborate in business because if you're on your own, you are stuck, whether you know it or not. You got to find people who have been through it. You got to find people who are just touching on it because they will have a different perspective. No matter any of these subjects you just covered, you got to find people that've been through it, people just touching on it because they'll have a different perspective, and but never take advice from anyone who hasn't been through or is going through what you've been through, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's so important what you just said, Dave, because so much of today's society is just taking what is spoon fed and swallowing it and pooping it out and starting over again. They're not exploring, they're not being open, they're not thinking with their own mind to make their own decisions. And that's what's thwarting society right now.
You need to be able to have a plan. And I've realized this for a while. A plan does not mean it's concrete. It's made out of
Right.
a durable material that you can restructure into different shapes and forms along the road. That's what
Could
it
it
is.
be a blurry map?
Could be a blurry map. It could, oh my God, you're throwing me back to MapQuest days. I remember my parents in the car fighting, okay? People fighting because they had just this, staple together like 4 or 5 pages, and my dad was like, "No, this is the wrong way. No, well, it's saying to turn here. Well, I don't want to turn." Thank
That's
God we don't live in that plan of a life anymore. It was crazy.
funny.
People forget that, man. Like there was a time where you wanted to get somewhere, you needed to know how to drive and how to get there. You needed to know what
Yeah.
exits were, and you had to be meticulous. Like there was a time you want to listen to music in your car. Okay, go to Radio Shack and pay like $10 for a tape. Maybe they got a deal for 2 for $5 if you were lucky, or
Oh, I
maybe
gotta show you something. Let's
or
see if I
Tower Records where they had in New York.
do you know what this is? I know the listeners can't see this, but I'm gonna show you something. I have a bunch of these still. Ready? Here it
Let me
comes.
see. Probably know what it is. Oh yeah, that's a tape.
How
That's a tape.
about this? Wait. How about this up here? Look at that. It's old 2-track reel to reel. Oh, there we go.
Wait, is that no? That's not. Is that a turntable?
No, it's a 2-track tape,
Oh, you got one of
reel
those
to reel.
hi-fi boxes. Damn.
Yeah, I go
Damn.
way back. Remember, the oldest is gonna be 50 in September,
Okay.
and I know I look 32. Thank you very much. Have a good
You,
day. Thank you.
you do okay. Like, not gonna
Thank
lie
you,
to any
Mary
of the people
Kay.
that are watching this right now, you do look young. Like,
Thank-
you look like somebody that hasn't been like burnt, disintegrated,
No one's popped my
thrown in
cherry yet.
acid. Oh my God.
No, you
Okay.
know what though? I did all that stuff,
Hmm?
but it's it there's a lot. The matrix is wide and deep
It
in
is.
how you take care of yourself. It really is. It's so much more than just eating right and taking your vitamins and minerals and supplements. That's important, but there's so much more to it. It's the headspace part. It's the what do you do with your free time, and do you integrate enough free time? Like here we are on a Sunday doing this. And I was up at 4. By 5, I
Wait,
took the 3 dogs for a ride. Oh, look at that. Wow, I just saw that. Oh, good grief.
this is.
Oh, what is that? A typewriter.
It is a typewriter.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know,
1952.
wow.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Like a
Mechanical.
relic
I know. And it works.
if you know how to work it.
I know how to work it.
But there's so much to just, you know, staying above water in how you look, think, and behave. It's more than
Yeah.
just eating right. It's you got to take care of yourself in every direction, every column of you got to check off all the boxes. You know, you got to give yourself time. You got to take downtime. You got to make quality downtime. You got to nap. Got a nap, even if you're 22 out there and you're working your butt off at a shoe store or at the mall or
I
playing
nap.
football or whatever. You
I
got to
love
nap.
naps. I
Yeah.
love naps. They're
You ever
wonderful.
have those days where you wake up early, you wake up and you already say to yourself, okay, I'm taking a nap today. And you haven't even gotten out of bed.
You need the truth is that we forget that we are human beings. We're Homo sapiens. We're animals. You know,
Yeah.
just like any other mammal. And like, I'm sorry for any of those religious freaks out over here that like we're made in the shape of God. I hear you, but according to biology and just structure, we're animals. We're mammals. And what that means is that just like animals graze and they rest, you know, and they huddle together, some come together to their families.
The affectionate
Yeah,
aspect of them and everything
unconditional love.
alive. Yeah, everything
Yes.
alive needs and wants love. Everything, a moth, a flower by vibrations of the sounds,
An
the
ant.
bees, I mean, ants, everything.
They take
People,
care of
believe it
each
or not.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
We that's why like we forget that there's nothing wrong with living in an industrial age, and I think it's wonderful. We get incredible technologies. I mean, hey, I'm able to talk to you from Florida to Arizona right now. But
Yeah.
what we've lost is that we've forgotten that we are not machines. We're
Right.
not made out of oil and aluminum and titanium and
Right.
rubber. You know, we're made out of flesh and blood. Like, you know, we're living, breathing things. And the more we move away from nature, the more that we cut ourselves away from our own planet is how
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not trying to get like Kubrick over here for a sec, but I
Oh,
feel like
that's all right.
this is how we destroy ourselves. We destroy ourselves by instead of allowing machines to integrate and still allowing us to connect with the planet, we fully integrate and then completely lose sight and feel for anything natural because we're no longer natural. We're machine.
Yeah. So can I ask you a deep question?
Yes,
I know
please.
I know it's your show, but I have a question.
No, I love this. Keep throwing
Okay.
at me. Like I got my wheat
Okay.
pen. Like we're gonna keep going.
Okay, cool. So this is deep, and I don't get into this stuff a lot publicly at all, but I feel
Please.
comfortable with you. We're
Yeah.
bros. You have a great
Please.
show. I've listened to 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can jam with Dave. So what happens? What do you think happens when this flesh and blood and spiritual human existence that we know as we know it expires? What's next? What happens? Are we reincarnated as another human, as a flower? Do we exist as sound vibration, light? Is it all the above? What do you think happens? Have you ever contemplated that?
Ooh, I have. That is good weed. um, I have
Morphine.
thought. I have thought about that, and I'm not saying that this is the only way of doing it, but I
Yeah,
found
because
that
I think there's multiple answers that exist at the same time.
I can give
But
you
go
this.
ahead.
I can give you the psychedelic answer. We are made out of we're a chemical biological machine in some forms because we're made out of chemicals that are interacting with each other on a day-to-day basis in our brains. And what psychedelics do is it opens up parts of our brain that are normally non-active, either maybe when you're sleeping or you're in a certain state, but generally are just not active. They're dormant. And we could see this. Like there have been MRI scans and CT scans and all of this stuff where you could see in how psilocybin, when it enters the body and how the brain, like there's like, you know, the plugging into the wall and just
Yeah.
connects and all of a sudden it just shoots down through the back, like specifically the back through the spine. So what I think happens is this. If psychedelics are able to open up our minds to see things that we generally can't see, so that means in many ways we do kind of live in an organic virtual reality. So when we disconnect from this organic virtual reality, and psychedelics allow to see this even though we're physically here now, we may be just a form of infinite consciousness that interacts with one another, and then we could possibly go from one body to the next.
Yeah,
very
that's what
similar
I
to
think.
like playing a video game. You try one version, and you're like, okay, this is fun. Let me try another version. We don't know. But I think that psychedelics do answer that question where if you're able to see things that are not generally able to, like, I'll give you a good example psilocybin. I've realized this. It allows you to see and hear nature. Dude, I was literally sitting there and I was hearing birds chirping, and I could physically understand the words that were coming out of their mouth.
Wait, birds chirp?
Birds, like their chirp, the way that
Yeah.
they talk
You can
back
hear the
to each
different
other,
languages, right? The difference between their sounds.
the different
Yeah.
tones and the sounds,
Yeah.
and like mescaline. I First time in my life I was able to see that sound is actually made out of shapes and objects, like different
Yeah.
geometric patterns. And then when you hear sound, like you could visually like, holy shit, that's a triangle, and it's like a cubic triangle and like vortex inside, and it's going all. There's a deeper underlying fact to what life is, and I just think that this is just one rodeo that we play millions of times over and over again. I don't think this is
Any
something.
of them at the same time?
Possibly.
That's what I think. And two things. One, can I give a shout out to a book that
Please.
really opened
I
my
love
mind to this? Okay.
Listen, we need good promotion sometimes. Not like, hey, a whole episode is going to be promotion. No, we need a little
Right.
good little touch.
Well, there's a
Little
book I
piece.
read about 14 years ago
Oh wow.
that made me feel more complete because I realized that what was in my mind, I was not alone with. And it's a book by Dr. Courtney Brown, and it's called Life Between Life. And it's about that space. And he's a doctor of psychology, did all these studies, interviewed tons of people. And it's about that period of time when this physical body dies and before it's born again, and how our physical parental units, I'll say, are chosen. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. But when separately from that, when I dream at night, I've never talked about this publicly. My wife is
Oh,
the
I'm
only
loving
person.
this. Like I'm in
Well,
ooh right now, and I'm just
oh,
like
thanks.
giggity.
When I dream, I don't think I'm dreaming. I think I'm going to my other world because I'm so coherent, and there's no one usually from this world in that dream, and I feel like I go to my other parallel universe. And it's so vivid that I can, in the morning, unfold and blossom this whole experience I had and tell my wife in great detail this happened and that this. And it's no architecture, no vehicles, no people, no plants, no other living life forms that are familiar in this human life here on earth that you and I are talking about right now. But it's not that different. It's just that it's other characters and other scenery and other, but it's so, there's a storyline. I feel like I go to sleep in this life and I wake up in that one, and then I go to sleep in that one, and here I am again on this great podcast. It's the weirdest thing, and it's been like that for years. And I rarely dream where someone from this world that we're talking to each other in right now is existing. Once in a while, and this happened a couple nights ago, it overlaps slightly. Like my wife or one of my kids will be in the dream, but it's not in this world. It's happening in my other thing that's going on. It's so that has affected my belief system because it's an experience, and our belief systems are based on experience. Whether you're raised to go to a Pentecostal church from a young age until you're an adult and you believe what they, excuse my term, but shoved down your throat, or being of Jewish
Literally by
heritage.
the pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to a synagogue and you believe this and that, or if you're atheist, or if you're atheist is the same thing. It's a belief system. Or if you're Buddhist, or whatever. But this has shattered that, where I feel like I do go somewhere else and I'm lucid there, and then I'm lucid here, and I can't seem to, not that I've tried, but I can't seem to shake it. It hasn't dissipated, it hasn't gone away. It wasn't a temporary thing. It's been
I
going
don't
on for years.
I don't know if this might help, but I don't talk about this publicly either. But I have this weird thing where they call it insight. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I will literally sit there with somebody, and all of a sudden in my head, I just start getting these visuals. I don't know where they're coming from. They just start popping in my head. And then all of a sudden, I start blurting out things. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just blurting out stuff. It's just coming out of somewhere. And I've had times where, I've had like a friend even that came back to me and she's like, "How the hell did you know that?" I'm like, "I don't
Oh, I
know.
love that.
I don't know. I don't know how this, I had somebody else ask me, like, how does it work? I'm like, I don't know how it works. I just, it's like literally, I just sit with somebody and just something happens. And I'm just like,
Well,
da da
I
da da
think
da.
this happens when you're open, Dave. I think when you're open, things come to you and it comes out of you. If you think of a plant for a moment, I grow flowers to keep me off the news. That's what I do. I grow flowers. I've
They're
got
fun.
two very
And
busy
bees.
businesses. Yeah, I mean, all these kids, grandkids, etc. Two very busy businesses. I need to chill for 10 minutes a day. And I grow flowers. I do container gardening because our whole yard is concrete. I have a greenhouse. So if you think of I'm
It's
going
not
to choose one
hydroponic
of my,
though.
what's that?
It's not,
Hydroponic?
it's not hydroponic though.
No,
No,
it's outside, but I do have a greenhouse outside and I grow herbs and peppers and things. So if I think of a pepper plant, I water the soil, the roots suck up the water, it goes up the stems, it goes into the leaves soak up the sun, there's a photosynthesis process, then it blossoms, the blossoms turn into peppers, the peppers grow, and it bears fruit. If I think of that process, it gives back what we put into it. And our minds are the same thing. Our belief systems are based on what's given to us and what we accept or what we go outside of that and investigate. And the same thing. So, in those terms, I feel like nothing's out of bounds. There's no right or wrong. It is what it is, whether you're a hardcore Christian, whether you're a non agnostic, there's no faith tied to it, but you believe in this, that, and the other. It's really all the same. And my thing is, I don't care. I'm a caring person, but I don't care what people believe. We're defined by our actions, not what we read, not what we preach, not what we believe. We all and in traveling the world and working with people in over 100 countries, I've learned we all want the same thing. We all want to be healthy, want to be happy, want to provide for our children, our community, our peers. But yet there's all this other stuff goes on. So I think people that are in a box somehow need to be wakened up to awoken, whatever the word is, to
no,
see
it's
that they're in a
awake.
box. Look outside of that. Like, what are they doing in Japan right now? What are they doing in West Africa and Kenya right now? What's going on the island of Tonga right now? You'll see if you boil it down to the nuts and bolts, it's all the same. We all want the same thing. But why is it so hard for us to all work together to get there
Greed.
if we all want the same thing? Is it because the
Greed.
same thing defined differently? Greed?
It's greed.
Well, that's my greed. That's what I want. I want all of us to get the same thing and be
N-
happy, healthy. That's my greed.
but that's the craziest part of this is, and like people to understand that greed is probably one of the worst emotions that a person can have, and it can also be a really good emotion. Like it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But what it is,
Depending on the outcome we want, right?
correct. So you have a society where people utilize greed a lot, but a lot of the times they utilize greed for the worst reasons possible. It's not to benefit people, it's for profit
Right,
margins, it's for
right,
quotas, it's for
right.
marketing share, it's for social media integration, and all the fun stuff that buys the Mercedes. A lease,
Yeah.
you're not buying it officially, it's just a lease.
It's just we're all going in different directions to get to the same thing. And some of those directions are not the the most healthy,
I'll tell you something which is really wild, right? People complain about how manufacturing is so expensive to do in this is the excuse. It's like it's too expensive to do manufacturing here in the United States. And I call bullshit. I'll tell you why I call bullshit, all right? As somebody in the automotive industry, like I'm going to be working in BMW. BMW has built their own plant in
Right.
Spartanburg in I think North Carolina, or I think
Yeah.
south or south north. And the vehicles that are coming out of there are some of the most reliable vehicles that BMW makes. And guess what? They're the same price. You didn't
Yeah.
change. The same amount. They're getting paid well. They treat their factory workers well. Like BMW's known for they give really good
Totally.
benefits and shit. That's just corporate for you. So what that tells us is this, okay? You can take care of communities. You can have farmers that make more environmental and community-based decisions over money, wealth, and supply, you know?
Mm.
People say, well, if we don't have big farms and they're not pumping out, well, we can't feed America. I'm like, okay, but there are communities around those farms, right? So if you're in a community that's around a farm or around farmers or ranchers, does it make more sense for them to give back to the communities that they're in and vice versa, instead of us focus like the whole in freaking country,
Right.
from Seattle down to New York City? It's like, hello, man. Like there's a lot of farms along the way that could just, it's it community to community, like uh county by county. I can't think. County by county. Like we're just using excuses at the end of the day.
Yeah. It reminds me of, hi Sasha, one of my dogs. It reminds me of the whole mindset of not buying foreign vehicles and the ignorance and the naivety that comes with that is, okay, let's take for a moment vehicles like the Kia made in South Korea, all the vehicles that come from Japan, Buicks that are made in Canada. Who unloads the freighter? Who takes the load unloaded from the freighter to the distribution center? Who takes the cars from the distribution center to the dealerships? Who works at the dealerships that sells the vehicles, services the vehicles? It's like,
Americans.
you have any idea what you're saying when you say don't buy foreign vehicles? It's one of the most ignorant things ever because it's supplying hundreds of thousands of local, no matter where you are, look, because we're all importing from everywhere, but let's take America. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jobs from the dealership and service department level to the sales floor to the freighters to the distribution center, the truck drivers. It's like, it's so fucking stupid.
It
And
is.
that's where people need to wake the fuck up and understand how the world really works and how we're
Right.
really all in this together and
Right.
working together, hopefully.
And again, like to your point, which is, this stupidity of, well, I won't buy foreign vehicles. I'm like, listen, if you're somebody that has the money and you have the ability, like you could go buy an American BMW right now from the dealership. And like you said, like from the start to finish. Yeah, they ship things in from Germany. Okay, like sorry.
Right.
But
And then on the opposite side of that spectrum, there's got to be people that say, no, 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 I want one from Bavaria. I want the real thing. You know, do
it's
you,
the same
I,
thing. It's the
yeah,
same thing. It's the same
yeah, it's the
freaking
same
car.
part. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's context, right? It's all about context.
It's the same thing with like luxury brands, okay? And I'm going to get into this cuz like I definitely feel like we're both artsy people and like
Yeah.
there are a lot of local people across this country that make a lot of the things quote unquote that luxury designers make, and they make them so much better. Like if you want leather bags and things, you got people in Texas, you got people in Nashville, you got people in
Yeah, people at the
Oregon.
swap meet sewing that stuff together, right?
Yeah, and they make beautiful stuff. And like, yeah, it's $185. It's better than Louis Vuitton. That's like $4,500.
Right.
Even like if it's
For the
300
same thing.
bucks, it's better than that. Like where it comes from. It's like come from the source.
It's original. Yeah.
It
Give those
just
people some love.
it's just being able to like that's the thing is too, right? Because we were talking about money from like the beginning of this podcast, right? If you're somebody that's successful and you know you're
Wait, we
financially
started recording already? No, I'm kidding.
you're killing me, man. No, when you're like when you're financially not like, you know, you're financially stable and you're bringing in income and you're bringing in money and like I look, I totally understand. It's nice to have nice things, okay? Like I'm on board. It go right ahead. Like if you want nice things, go. But what about having nice things and actually like it's built really well and it's like from like really cool people that do this shit and they like live on the farm or like in the middle of nowhere? We got the internet and Instagram. Like it's not hard. Like I don't live in Oregon. Go on freaking Instagram. You could find them. They live in Oregon. You could just
Yeah.
order it on your phone. It's not like
Yeah, I
rocket
don't care
science,
what
people.
name is on a label or a badge or any of that. It's the commercialism, you know.
I know.
It's just like, who cares? Who cares what does it work? Is it quality? Is it? And look at it, examine it, use some critical thinking, use some uncommon sense. You know, just look at it. Who cares what name it is? I don't care.
No, like oh, I gotta show you. We did show and tell on this podcast. So I got this from. I don't know if you could see this.
Oh, yeah.
So this comes. I don't remember the name of the Native American tribe, but the ones that they do like the horse hairs, they burn it and they
Yeah.
make these intricate patterns. This was like $28, and I remember like I was reading on Etsy, like he wrote in there, he said, "Hey, I have an Etsy shop, like I'm making all this stuff. Like the money's going towards to help like the community because they're trying to help to like set up the school and whatever." I was just like, that's so awesome. And look how cool this is, you know? Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I like always like have my little
That's
buffalo.
cool. I love that.
My little
Yeah.
buffalo. But I love that shit, man, because like that to me is priceless. Like I would pay $100 for that. I know it sounds bizarre, but it's not about that. It's the fact that like, hey, I'm able to help
Yeah.
somebody out. You know, remember like the part of being able to collaborate is like, hey, like I got the 28 bucks. Wouldn't you rather give that 28 bucks to that dude? At least like I don't know exactly what he's doing with the money, but I'm probably sure he's going to give it to the
Yeah.
school. Like,
And I think that that part has nothing to do with karma. Like, it's not for us to
no.
measure what they're going to do with the money. It's for us to give whatever we
No.
have to give, whether it's advice, whether it's money, whether it's material things.
You able to
Yeah,
help out?
yeah. I
Yeah.
I do that here, and it always comes back. I make lunch bags. I'll either make from scratch or buy, and I'm not bragging, folks. This is just an experience I want to
I
share.
love
I
this.
I'll either
This is
I'll either buy
amazing.
or make a big sub sandwich. I'll cut it up. I'll separately bag it. I'll put in a granola bar, potato chips, a cupcake, and a bunch of cold waters. And I go out to where I know the people are that sit at the driveways at Walmart. We have a miniature Walmart here. Remember, it's a town of 7,500 people. And I know them, like I
A mini Walmart.
know them now. And I'll go and I'll pass this stuff out. And every fucking time I do, something magical pops up in my life, whether it's money, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's and that's how the universe works. No matter what your religious or spiritual beliefs are, that's the definition of vibration. And when you tune into a frequency, good or bad, it's going to give you what you tuned into. And I do this all the time and it always comes back. It never fails. Got to a point, Dave, where I was like, okay, I'm going to challenge this. I'm going to test it. I'd wait 3 weeks, not do anything, and then make a bunch of sandwiches, make a bunch of lunch bags, get some cold water, go pass it out. Bunch of money came in for the business. What? How? Like, what? Okay, I'm going to take a break for 2 weeks. Nothing happened. Go do it again. Something brilliant happened in our personal life for a bit. It just happens like clockwork, literally.
That's how it's weird that the universe operates in a very weird way, and I think that the more you isolate, the more you close, the more you see the dark side of the moon, and I mean that literally. There's something about us as people. you get into that realm, that isolation and closed mindedness leads to madness. It leads to really horrific behaviors. I've seen it, of how people can go from loving somebody to literally abusing their
Oh
children,
yeah.
taking their children away from another parent just to punish the other parent. Like, just belligerent bullshit, like crap like that. So, you, like you said before earlier, like being able to visit 100 countries and being able to see all different cultures and be able to get that experience and expertise, when you start to see also the dark side of things too, like that, you understand how dangerous those things are, because it not only strips you away of your humanity, it makes you just a horrible human being. You're hurting other people besides
Yeah.
yourself.
And good or bad, it's the same. Like it says, we all want the same thing no matter where we are. Good or bad, the
Mm-hmm.
same stuff is happening in any city or county across the US, in Canada, Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, Italy, Paris, the island of Tonga, New Zealand. You throw a dart at the map, the same shit, good or bad, is
You're sounding like the Animaniacs song right now. You know, with all the countries.
but it really is the same. No one's unique. Get off of that if you think where you live and who you are as a culture is unique. None of us are unique. We have a different way of expressing it and celebrating it and believing in it, but none of us are unique.
We all have something to
Yeah.
share, and we all have something to learn, you know, and I think the more that we get into that mindset, I think the more that we can really blossom as a future. And again, like, this is not for us, people. You know, coming from you, you got a whole roster. Like, you got a whole concert worth of people. Like, it's the future
Yeah.
generations. It's the people that come after us that we want them to have a good future. We want them to have an open environment where if they want to explore things, they're
Yeah.
able to, you know?
And in no other time could
It
they do that the way we can now. That's the thing.
Yeah, and I'm young, like, it's crazy. I'm young enough to remember when things were a little bit different, because I grew up when the internet was first flourishing, like in the early 2000s. So being able to see that change and progression of how our cultures have changed, where now you could be way more aware than you
And
ever
I
were
remember
before.
when the telegraph came out, and we thought the same thing.
Oh my God, man. Don't age yourself that much. Come on now. It's like watching kids are like, what is
Right.
that? That from the Jurassic Park? It's like, that's a phone booth. What's a phone booth?
Oh, I remember when
Oh my God.
one of the kids, he's 35 now, we were watching an old, when he was like 4, we were watching an old show, and someone was literally, those of you listening can't see, but Dave can, dialing the phone, dialing with their finger.
The
Yeah. And
rotary
my son
dial. Yeah,
Alex
yeah, yeah.
said, Dad, what's he doing with the phone? And for a moment, I was stumped by the question. I said, so Alex, you've heard dial the phone, because at the time it was like boop 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 pushing the buttons. I said he's literally, it's a dial. He's dialing the phone. It was such an interesting thing that came. This was 1994, because he was 4 years old. He's 35 now. So 1994, that became antiquated, and it really opened my eyes. Like, wow, he can't even relate to that world the same way that anybody at any age can't relate to certain things a generation or two before them, you know. And it's important to remember that. Like, I'm making a motion, folks. I'm going counterclockwise with my fist. Is a what does that mean, Dave? If you see someone driving, what does that mean?
They're a little bit out of control, or maybe they had a few too
Or
many
roll down the
drinks.
window.
You know, it's Oh, you mean
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We had a
Yeah,
crank down
but
windows.
there's no such thing as
Yeah.
crank down windows unless you have an older car. But everyone still knows what that means. Most people, I think.
Yeah, with
It's
the
like,
crank. I'm like a very visual person, so like a lot of times when you say car, like I have to like, but
yeah.
I know what I had a car that had that, like the
Oh,
roll
that's
down
cool. I
windows, and
several. I
you
grew
get
up when there was
tired after a
no
while.
or very few automatic or electronic, with like only the luxury cars had that. So people,
They used to charge
yeah, and
for it.
people still know what this means. And then they roll down their window, but it should be, that should be the signal, right? But
Mm,
there's
you
things
know
that
what?
just get baked.
It's a testament of
What's
time.
that?
It's a testament of
Yeah,
time. It's
yeah.
the way that, like, time changes now so
Oh, yeah.
quickly, but yet we're moving so slowly.
Yeah. My wife and I were just talking about that
Uh,
last night. Yeah, how time just
right, yeah.
and the older you get, the quicker it goes by. That's a that's a
Don't tell me that,
platitude,
because I'm
but
like, I'm enjoying the speed right now it's at, and I don't want it to
yeah,
go
it
any
will.
faster.
It
Eh,
will.
I know. Before we wrap up, Dan, I did want to talk about your
Thank you.
work, uh, Drum Talk TV Brilliance. I hope I'm
Yeah,
saying that correctly. It is a really cool
thank you.
logo. It's got a little globe with like little flags
Thank
in there.
you. Yeah, we
Looks like an airbrush, doesn't it? Like it looks like it's like an airbrush. So you see that on a T-shirt
yeah,
or
we have
something. I
t-shirts,
don't know
but
why.
well, thanks for asking. So Drum Talk TV is 12 and a half years old as we're recording this.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
that's a
12 and a
long
half years
time.
old. On social media, we have 1.5 million fans. 1.3 million followers of those are on Facebook alone. And we reach 100 million people a year organically. We have since the first year. And what Jump Talk TV Brilliance is, people can go to jumptalktv.com and see stuff up until about 5 years ago. We haven't updated it since then because it just became a runaway train. But Drum Talk TV Brilliance is a membership site that's designed to provide healthy escapism. Drug and alcohol abuse was up over 60% during the COVID pandemic. It's up since then over 20% amongst adolescents and teens. And Drum Talk TV Brilliance is a fun place, not just for drummers, but for music fans of all types to come and play 2 online live music themed game shows a month where people win prizes. There are fan Q&A sessions with big artists of many genres where the fans ask the questions. I'm not interviewing them like a regular shows. Um, there's record producers, record executives that do the fan Q&As, so many other things. That's at drumtalktvbrilliance.com. There is a free level of membership. You're all welcome. And if you want to go one step up, it costs less than a bucket of chicken or a pizza once a month to get into the premium level with lots of fun stuff. And
I love chicken and
there
pizza,
you go.
so like
So,
you already
so
got me
spend the
signed up.
extra money, get a bucket of chicken and the pizza, and watch one of the Q&A shows and be part of that and ask your favorite rock star, jazz star, soul star, R&B star, rap star, hip star, whatever questions, and join the game shows. They're free. They're totally free. People win prizes. You can even win a prize to be a guest VJ on Drum Talk TV and co-host a show. And it's a lot of fun, and that's
Action pack. It's action
action
packed.
packed. And
You
wait,
know.
there's more. Dot dot dot.
Oh my god.
Thanks for asking. Can I give
Ah,
out a discount code for your followers?
sure. I can leave it if you want. We'll talk afterwards. If
Sure,
you want to like send me an email, I could leave it in the description
absolutely.
or on
Okay, that
Substack,
sounds great. We'll
so
do
people
that.
can go
I'll
ahead
send
and
it
get
to you
that.
then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you hear that? For any of you motherfuckers that have made it this long, you get a discount code to Drum Talk TV. Otherwise, you got to check the description box, which I know you have
You
not been
gotta check it, folks.
checking.
Check it, check it, check it.
Got to check it. There's a lot of stuff in there. Like I learned a new thing, which is hyperlinking. So I do this now on Substack, where I'm able to just put hyperlinks,
Yep.
like for Spotify, like
That's where
YouTube.
I
It's
listen
great,
to your
so you can
shows.
literally
Yep.
just you just open up the post and you're like, oh my god, there's a podcast. Like technology makes it easy for people. Like I don't know what to press. Like it's right
Yeah. Even
there.
David
If
Bowie
I need to
said it.
take your itty bitty finger
David
and
Bowie said it, Dave. David Bowie said, check this. There's a discount code in the description box. Check this.
checks. Da-da-da.
I'd love for people to join. It's a
Oh my
lot of
god.
fun. It's healthy escapism. And our job is to provide fun. Drum Talk TV, we're here for the fun of it. Join us. Lots of fun. Dave, and I love your show. I
Yay. I
listen to about
love it,
8
man.
podcasts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to be on this. This is
Jeez.
great. So thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, my pleasure, my man. And thank you so much for coming on and like sharing the wisdom. And we covered a lot of stuff. I mean, we went down the deep rabbit
Definitely.
hole.
Yeah.
I love it. Again, thank you so much. Like to anybody out there, if you want to check out more of the podcast, you can find us at Lost in the Groove Pod, everywhere and anywhere. Like I mentioned, we are on Substack and Rumble.
Ooh, Rumble too.
So if you
Yeah.
wanna check out. Yeah, because YouTube wasn't being nice to Lost in the Groove.
It's not nice,
So I
nice
had
to a
to go
lot of
over-
brands. Yeah, YouTube's changed.
Yeah. And Rumble's great. It from my numbers and stuff, it seems like people are more sharing than listening.
They're more attentive, I think. There's less distractions and interruptions. It's a great platform.
I love it, man. Well, again, thank you so much. And to anybody out there, we will catch you on
Thank you.
Peace out.